Okay, so good evening, everyone. And today is another section for us, the experts. And we have a wonderful person in our midst who is ready to share what she has for us this evening. And as you know the rules, just mute yourself. If you have any question to ask, use the chat, and we'll open up for questions and answers where you get a chance to ask all your questions and also your comments as well. And as you know, the call is within a 40-minute call. Maritha will use less than 30 minutes to talk about it, a topic. Then the rest will be questions and also discussions. When we are done, we'll share the video on all the social media platforms, and those who didn't get a chance to watch can go there and watch. So this evening, I'm here to introduce to you our speaker. So Maritha, please tell us about yourself and take us through today's conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Leslie, and thank you so much for having me on your program. My name is Maritha Osekre-Amey. I'm the Executive Director for Smart Things Training Center. And what we do partly is like a social enterprise where we help young people, usually between the ages of 19 and 29, to get the right skills to get into jobs. So this is a very good opportunity for us as well, that we are getting the chance to talk on this program, because then that helps to get people into jobs, not just that age bracket, but then everybody else. So a little bit about myself. I have an a BA in English from Legon. English and Theatre Arts. I have an international management master's from University of Liverpool, and then a Cambridge University certificate in teaching. I have been, well, my last job was with the World Health Organization in Switzerland. It's part of the UN. And one of the main things that really piqued my interest in coming into this is because I used to recruit a lot of interns, and I saw the skills gap that we had with African interns. So starting the company, the Smart Things Center, was a way for us to prepare our youth and everybody else actually for the international market. So I'm also a poet. I have a book that's coming out. I actually have a couple of projects, and I also work in communication. So that's just a quick summary of what I do. I'm very, very active in just getting people into jobs. So that's just a quick introduction of myself.
Thank you so much. So please, let's go straight to the conversation for tonight. Yeah.
Okay, so today, the agenda that we are going to be working with is right here. Okay. Right, so we're going to talk about the effects. It's very, very quick. We're going to talk about the effects of the COVID-19 and the different sides of it, and then see how we can reskill to help ourselves find jobs within this market, and also in the post-COVID era. We're also going to talk about renewing and the things we need to do to ensure that we survive through this time, and then obviously to re-energize, to build essential lifelong skills. So I think that just one sec. I think that I have a bit of an issue here. I'll just come back to this in a minute. Okay, so I'll share my screen again. Okay, so I think that yes. I have the right screen now.
Yes, still I can see it. Yes,
I'm working on double screens. Yes, okay. I'm working on double screen, so I think that's where my situation is. It's fine, no worries about that. So at least then you know what is coming. So COVID has just come to be a catalyst of what is to come. Okay, the what we call the fourth industrial revolution had already started. I think it started about a couple of years ago, which is where we use the World Economic Forum. Actually, I want to get the how they define the fourth industrial revolution, and it's just represents a fundamental change in the way we live, work, and relate to each other. And this is a new chapter in human development because it enables extraordinary technological advances to be used in our everyday life. This for us translates into, if you look at things like mobile phones, social media, how it has opened the world, you know, and all the things that you are able to do now that we couldn't do before. And the access we have to knowledge, to information, things happen on one side of the world and immediately we get it on this side of the world. This has opened the world in a different way that has never been done before. So this is why it is so important that Africa especially comes on board, because we are capable and we have the tools that are needed to do this. So now the only thing we need to do is to change our mindsets, okay? And this is where COVID has helped us. I know that it's very difficult for people to think about the positive side of COVID, but actually COVID is serving as a trigger, pushing us into this fourth industrial revolution. And there are so many things that we can get from it, okay? I'm going to talk about how COVID, I'm going to, divide COVID's effect on us in three ways. I'm going to talk about the ugly side of it, which is like really, really shocking part. I'm going to talk about the bad side of it, and then we will end with the good side of it so that we can use that to go into how we can harness all the opportunities that this special situation is giving us. Okay, so for the ugly part, millions of people have lost their jobs. It's not just in Africa. It is all over the world, and people are shocked about how this is affecting them. Okay, so suddenly they are getting Africa's problems, third world country problems. People can't eat, people can't live. There's despair, there's confusion, there's everything. So that is the ugliest part of it, with this shock which has happened everywhere. Another thing for us is that people have actually managed to go through interview processes to get jobs. But because companies cannot pay even their staff, they've had to put these jobs that they are offering people on hold. This is also shocking because if like most people in Ghana, you have waited for years to get your ideal job or to even get a job just to put food on the table, this is also very shocking. And then we have to think about the psychological effects of it as well, which is also suddenly you don't have access, you don't have access to food. Your personal safety is in question. You don't know when you're going out, whether it's going to be, you're going to come back, you're going to get COVID, you're not going to get COVID. Someone talks to you, you turn away. And because we are such warm people and we've always known to get close to each other, this is also very shocking for us. So this is also, it has also increased desperation and confusion for us, okay? So this has led to our lives really being changed overnight, okay? So this is the really, really bad part. The ugly parts. The bad parts, which in and out, is Leslie.
Yes, we can hear you. Yes, we can hear you.
Great. Okay. So the bad part of it is that recruitment is closed in most industries, but there are some industries that there is still work. If you look on the international scene, you're looking at Amazon shops, which we have access to in Ghana. Okay, so people actually start businesses in Ghana where they store things. They store things in their own warehouse, and then Amazon, even though you're sitting in Ghana, you can still start a business on Amazon shops. There is a tutorial that they have that you're able to do it. You store your things. If anybody likes your product and they want to order it, they order it on Amazon, and then you send it to them from Ghana or wherever, you post it to them. That's still open. Facebook has also just opened a shop app where you can also put supplies. So if you are someone who manufactures things, or you are very good, maybe you make shoes, you make Ghana shoes, you make all those things, you have that. And then for the food supply chain, there are still markets, supermarkets, like Game and all those people that are still hiring, because now everybody is worried about food. And then also in the markets themselves, you know, farmers or market women need people to move food from the farm to the market and all that. So other avenues which we normally would not look like are also open. So these are things that we need to think about. Okay, so that's the good part of it. Okay. The second so-so part, which is that now if you do manage to get a job, everything has moved virtual. Okay. This, like when we started the program, Leslie said we have to go very fast because data is quite expensive in Ghana, and it's not stable, and it goes all that. This could bring a whole lot of new challenges. But then with determination, you can't go through them. Since this lockdown, work hasn't stopped. I had to rush back to Geneva because that's where my family is, just before the airports closed in Ghana. Because I have young children that I have to be here with, and I couldn't leave my husband take care of them by myself. But work didn't stop for me. I'm having daily meetings with my staff. I have an ongoing project. I am able to keep going, and every day I am literally on Zoom doing everything. And I was even able to onboard schools to start using Zoom and Google Classroom to teach, so that their students will still be working. So again, this fourth industrial revolution is forcing us to do things in new ways, because just imagine if COVID had happened and we don't have all these tools. So whatever happens after COVID, this situation is still going to happen. So for us in Ghana, this COVID is forcing us to start embracing these tools. So now everybody will have to think about how they can use this. So now, without any effort, you have to try to get used to living in a virtual environment. Okay, so you have to learn things like video conferencing etiquette, how to place your cameras, how to have light in front of you, how to have the best, so that if you have an interview, you will be able to present yourself and be yourself. These are things that, this is information that is available anywhere. After this, you can contact my center. There are simple things that we can help you with, of course, just to help you to prepare for your interviews and to see all those things. So those things can be done, is fine, okay? The bad side of this virtual interview is that because you are not used to like talking on having serious interviews on phones and on computers, you might be distracted, you know, and it will not help you to get a good interview, because then you're worried about what is happening in the background and everything that could go wrong and all that. So that would really make it worse if you have to interview on the phone. And then of course you're not in the same room with the person, so you'll not be able to look at their body language and to engage with the interviewer and all that. Okay, but the good side of it is that immediately you have eliminated one thing that before you had to convince the interviewer that you knew in your face-to-face interviews, which is that you are able to use technology and that you are embracing technology. That is so important. It is unbelievable that once you are embracing technology and you are happy to go, this is it. This is one of the points that I will talk about later on. Okay. So I will move on to the good. The good presents opportunity to self-develop amid an area of diminished external distractions. If you're looking for a job or you already have a job, one thing that most people find is that you do not have the time to self-develop. You do not have the time to have courses. You have to be extra determined, extra vigilant, and make a lot of arrangements before you can put in self-development. this is a vicious cycle, because if you don't self-develop, you don't keep up with what's happening, and that means there's a skills gap. That means you are not desirable to potential employers or even the people that you're working with. So now that COVID is here, and yes, life has begun, but it hasn't begun properly, you can take advantage of all the tools you have to be able to self-develop. Okay, this also gives you the chance to transition from underusing your familiar social media tools that before you just used to use with your friends, check out what's happening, do this and all that. So to enhance your online shop, to be able to look for ways you can use it. Like if you take WhatsApp, we've been using WhatsApp. A lot of people know about WhatsApp on the phone, but they don't know about WhatsApp web, where you have a larger screen to be able to conduct more. Okay, so this situation has prevented a perfect catalyst also for us to learn to work smarter. So that instead of you getting into the habit of, now we're like, oh, I need to go and see this person, or you go somewhere, you need information, you have to literally sit in a trotro and go to the place to go and ask for information or to pick up a form and all that. That's waste of time. You can spend one whole day on just going to pick one form, when you can actually just sit in your house, 5 minutes tops, call the people, ask them what they need, what information they need, sitting there right in your house, perhaps go to their website, get the form, download it onto your computer as a Word document, fill it, do what you need to do, and even send it back to them by email. So within 30 minutes to 1 hour, the thing that would have taken you 1 day and perhaps 10 cities to go and come has already been sorted. So you are able to work smarter and not so much, not hard so that you'll be sweating. I always say that the white people, what they do is, if you went, let's say you go and buy furniture from their shop and it's flat packed, they put it in a way that you should be able to put the table, maybe what you bought was a table. They put it together in a way that the table must be able to be fixed. If you are fixing it and one part of it is too difficult, then you're not doing it right. You can be sure. Because for those white people, all they care is, let's work smart. So if you're not doing it and it's difficult, no, you've got it wrong. And if you look back on the instructions, you'll see that you got it wrong. So now this I think is the good part of COVID, where to force us to work smarter. And then the best investment in your life. Because to rebuild, most companies are going to be hiring people who have adapted to change and who have demonstrated that they are quick to adapt to change, because the business world is forever changing. It is not static. There are new problems, new issues, everything coming up all the time. They want people who can think on their feet, who say, okay, this is what is happening. Yeah, forget what was old. This is what is new. Let's go. Okay, so this is something that you actually use to your advantage. Okay, that we have to risk in order for us to survive. Reskill. This gives us the opportunity to go back to the drawing board, to ask ourselves, for those of us who are already working, whether this is what we really want. This job we are doing or we were doing before COVID was the job that we had wanted to do, was our dream job, or something that we knew could actually help us. I believe that we all come into this world with what we can do to help the human race. And it can be in so many ways. But life happens and it leads us on paths that we have not planned for ourselves. For most people that are in this position where they've had to quarantine for a couple of months, they're thinking, my husband is sitting down thinking, he's also been working in the UN for over 20 years, and sitting at home for 3 months, he's like, why am I doing this job? I hate it. I've never realized how much I hate it. Okay, so I wish I could do something to change my life and to do that. So these are things that you need to go back to the drawing board and ask yourself if this is what you want to do. if there was no COVID and you've not had to stop your work, there would never have been an opportunity for you to think this way. So when you start thinking this way, it doesn't mean if you have a job, just go directly and go and give your resignation. No. It means now start planning, okay, on how you are going, your exit strategy. So that perhaps you have always been good with your hands. You are very good at making shoes, you know, slippers, something nice. That means this is time for you to start what we call your side hustle, okay? You start making the shoes on the side and then try to start, you know, distributing it and selling it and all that. And then gradually you can work your way through and leave your job when that starts paying off. For those of you who have not started working, this is also very good. Are you applying for jobs? And then when they ask, I've interviewed a lot of people for my businesses, and sometimes you ask, someone comes and tells you, oh, I need a job, and you're like, yeah, okay, you need a job, what do you want to do? And they say anything doesn't cut it, because you will not be good at anything. So you need to sit down and go back and think about it, that I want a job, this is where I want the job in, and focus in on that particular area, and try to get as much information, as much skill, as much knowledge, be the expert in that area. Then as you start applying for jobs in that particular area, you see that your chances will be better than being a jack of all trades, okay? So there are a lot of places you can take self-development courses, both paid and unpaid. You just have to search. I know that Leslie's company is helping people to also, you know, get skills, and most of it is sponsored. Am I right, Leslie? Most of it is sponsored. So then you are able, yes, exactly. You are able to learn, find out all these information that are there, and then use them to your advantage. Don't just sit down, or don't let someone tell you. I'm not a proponent of someone told me that they are doing this here. No. For me, like they say in Ghana, what I see is what I believe. So if I hear that these people are doing this and someone, oh, I went there, but they didn't have time for me. Yeah, that's fine. You went there and they didn't have an opportunity for you. But I am going to go there so that they'll tell me to my face that they don't have an opportunity for me. But that also won't stop me. I'll keep going back there, because once you want to develop yourself, you have to open yourself to everything that you can possibly have to develop yourself, okay, with or without a budget. There are also a lot of courses online that you can have. Like right now, I think Udemy and all that, they have a lot of courses that are free because of the COVID, and this is how they are trying to help. So all you need to do is to worry about data. The data that you probably use on social media, you'll be looking at Insta, you'll be looking at Facebook, you'll be doing TikTok and all those things. You can use that data to take a free course, take advantage of what's happening now. Take a free course and you are good to go, okay? I saw this in my research. I saw that PwC has actually done a study, and they said that it is not enough to take one degree and hope that it will work for you for the rest of your lives. This was what was happening when my parents' times. You take a degree or you take a specialization and you work on it for 40 years, and then you retire and then you get your pension or whatever it is. It doesn't work anymore. Now, it's been known that the average length of time you will stay in any organization is 4.4 years, and then you move on. So that's why it's very important for you to keep upscaling to see what is happening in the world and getting ready for what is happening, okay? Another set of skills that every employer needs, including if you are an entrepreneur, are some things that we call the core competencies of working. This is so invaluable that you must learn it and try to practice it and find opportunities to practice it. And this time that we are at home is a good time to start, okay? So these are the core competencies for running a business or working in a business or in any organization in the 21st century. Okay, problem-solving skills. You should be able to come up with a form of solutions. One of my bosses that I worked with, he was a Russian. He always told me, Maritha, never ever come to me with a problem that you don't add a solution to. Before you go to your boss, your colleague, your partner, whatever, if there's a problem, try to already think about it. This is how you build value as an employee. Because if for me, I know that, okay, I've left this person in the office, they are dealing with whatever, I'm perhaps running around the whole day in my other businesses trying to get things done and all that. I don't want the person I've left in the office to be calling me every 2 minutes and saying, oh, and this problem happened, and that problem happened, and that. No. That problem happened, but I think we should do it this way, A, B, C, D. Then I will say, oh, yes, that's a good idea, or no, let's do it that way. That means you're bringing value to me, and this is what everybody needs, okay? Creativity. We all have a creative bone in our body. It may be with maths problems, which I'm useless at, or it may be with the way things are distributed or the way things are arranged and all that. You must be creative. You must be creative in dealing with issues that arise in a situation. You can practice this at home, as you are home now, with your friends. If you are still in school, you must always try to think of creative ways to find solutions to things that are happening. Analytic thinking. This is so crucial. It is, I can't even stress it enough. When a problem is put before you, it is not enough to think about just your point of view of that problem. Just look at it directly and say, oh, this is what I think, and that's it. You must get into the habit of thinking about the problem from different angles, so that when you have a solution, it is a well-rounded solution. Again, if me as an employer, you always do this and you always come to me solving problems from an analytical point of view, or there's a project we need to work on, and you've looked at it from as many points as possible. You may not get all of them, but if you give me a point which is more than one, and more than one step into the solution, most employers will be very, very happy to keep you on. Collaboration. I can't stress this enough. In this world, nobody, and especially in the 4th industrial revolution era, you can't do anything alone. Nothing. Even if you're an entrepreneur, if you are starting a business, okay, even if you have the money, which most of it, you have the money, you have the idea, you have the know-how, you must find people who are good at what they do that you trust, who perhaps have the same common interest as you, okay? They might probably be able to bring technical skills to the solution. Perhaps you think that, okay, if you make shoes that squish when you walk to alert people, or something very, very random, okay? There is someone who will be able to tell you that, oh, but if you use this particular glue on that shoe and you put the glue in this way, this is how it is going to be. That means they make your product better. You must always look for opportunities to collaborate. And this as an entrepreneur and as an employee, your employers need to know that you are willing to work with your colleagues to find the best possible solution to whatever it is you're working on. Everybody in a grouping, especially a workplace, is there for a reason. No employer is paying people to just come and walk around because they are beautiful, they are handsome, they are this, they are that. That means everybody brings something to the table. Collaboration is such a core part of working in today's environment that you must look at that very critically. With collaboration comes communication. If you have all the ideas in your head and you're not able to tell people, nobody is a mind reader. They will not be able to understand what you want to say or how you want to say it, or they don't tell you, and then there's confusion, there's misunderstanding, and then once there's confusion in the place, forget it, the work will not be done. Okay, this is for you as an entrepreneur, or for you as working in a work in somebody else's work environment. And then ethics, action, and accountability. Ethics needs a whole new, put it in our heads that we are in Ghana, generally, we are religious, okay? Perhaps we are Christians, we are Muslims, we are Buddhists, we are, whatever it is, we believe in the good of a higher power. And most of all these beliefs are based on the basic idea of being good to your fellow human being. This is where ethics come in. If you are not ethical, then you are not thinking of your fellow human being. This is very quickly demonstrated. So it may sound like it is very abstract, but it is very, very demonstrated, and people already know who you are when you do this. So you have to try to be ethical at all times. Follow your words with action. Do not make your words cheap. If you tell someone, I'm going to call you in 5 minutes, make sure you call them in 5 minutes. If you can't call them in 5 minutes, send a message. I'm sorry, I'm doing something, I can't call in 5 minutes. These are skills that you need to do. And then you must also be accountable for your actions. So if you tell your boss that you are going to lift this box from this room to that room, you should be able to do it. Don't wait for your boss to come and tell you that, oh, why didn't you do this and all that? So if you have all these core competencies in your head, and this is one of the big things that I want you to leave this meeting with, is just try to work on these core competencies. Think about them, think about situations that you have in, and try to work on them in this time. Your all-round value would have jumped by at least 40%. Okay, so moving on, why we need to renew. COVID is your friend. You have been given an opportunity to rebrand. And when I say rebrand, you are rebranding on so many levels, on yourself. Perhaps this is the time for you to sit down and think about it. Okay, I am going to rethink what I want to do, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. I'm going to rethink the strategies that I've used in the past. I'm going to start engaging with a new set of people. I'm trying to get knowledge. I'm going to, so there's so many things. So I'm calling COVID the rebranding season, where you have the opportunity and the peace of mind to just go back and to think about it, okay? Another thing you need to do to renew is to rethink your job search strategy. This is especially for people who are looking for jobs, okay? You have to consider volunteering, because like we said in the beginning, most businesses are not in a position to hire. Okay, they are even trying to take care of their staff themselves. So they are holding back on hiring. But then you can go back, because instead of just sitting home, you can go back and offer to volunteer. Okay, this will help you to get your foot in the door, even if it's not for the business that you want, for another business. And then experience, you can get experience paid or unpaid. When you're working for a salary, yes, you're getting experience and you're paid for it, but you can also get experience without being paid, but it will still go on. These are things that you can put on your CV. You make new connections, because you never know where you are going to meet that person. Okay, so you make new connections, and then working in that environment also gives you the opportunity to have new perspectives on, oh, perhaps I was thinking of it the wrong way. Maybe if I think about it this way, I apply for my job this other way, I'll be able to get in. So this is also what you should think about. Secondly, for entrepreneurs, entrepreneurship is in. This is what we call in Ghana the latest, okay? Entrepreneurship has always been there, but COVID has presented this unique opportunity. And I'll tell you why. Because now, most people don't want to move from Odoko to go and buy things in Accra. Apart from the fact that the trust now they are social distancing, and instead of it taking 100, no, you can't take 100, that's my exaggeration. If instead of it taking 30 people, it will take 15 people. You don't want all that hassle. You have to sit in that short draw and wear a mask and all that, no. And then when you get to that place, there are too many issues that you have to deal with. Now, people are looking for ways to buy their banche in their area, to buy that Ghana shoe, that Ghana cloth shoe in the area, to buy chalewate in the area. This is when entrepreneurship is like so good. So find a particular need in your locality, very, very, very small. You have to be very, very precise. The particular need, if you feel like this is the sort of thing you are interested in your locality, and then this is the time to strike, to start that small business. because ultimately we want everybody to be self-sufficient in their areas. You know, you don't want that if I want something, it's only when I go to Osu that I'm going to get this. If I want a papaya, I have to go to this area or this. That is why, that's even the thinking behind why all these companies are trying to open in different locations. Okay, so then you have to think about it that way. So this is the fantastic situation for you to get into business. And talking about that, convenience. Entrepreneurs, you are sitting at home, you're not doing anything. Convenience. Sometimes I am sitting in Dakuman, I need to get something to someone at Odoko, or I want to buy something at Odoko, and you live in between, you have time. No problem, offer that service. Okay, so try to find very specific local problems and things that will bring convenience to people, and then you can go into it once you are looking for the dream job. So this is something you need to think about. Also, because organizations and a lot of companies don't have money for full-time to be able to recruit you permanently, they will be open to using part-time people. Also, open your mind to that. Perhaps if you have, because they don't have the money to keep you the whole month and then pay you and all that, they only need you maybe a total of maybe 40 hours for the whole month. Be open to that. Okay, this is a new way of thinking about it. And then you can also, that way you can, if you're doing 3 or 4 of those jobs, you can put your money together and still be able to take care of yourself. Okay, strategy is everything. Now, like I'm saying, if you've decided on what you want to do and all that, it's better to start, you know, get a niche. It's just like selling a product. Get a niche and then do everything you can to be an expert in that niche area. And then you will, looking for a job in that area will be better, because you bring more value to the employer than you would if you're a jack of all trades. Okay. The last thing I want to stress is network. It goes on everywhere. Okay, with your friends, with people you haven't heard from for a while. Get into the right company. If you want to become a fitter, start hanging out with fitters. If you want to become a carpenter, start hanging out with our carpenters. So that apart from you learning subconsciously in what they are doing, you are also out, you are also there, so people can see. So anytime there is a fitter opportunity somewhere, they'll remember you immediately and say, hey, Leslie, look, oh, this man is looking for a fitter and that person is looking for this. So call them and go and see them and all that. So just network within the right framework. If you are the person who wants to do the white collar jobs and all that, even blue collar jobs, which is the hands-on things, it's a good time to join things like LinkedIn. That's a good place to get professional. This also feeds into your rebranding that I spoke about at the beginning. Okay, try to see that you've got all the brands, you are at the right places, and you are feeding into all that, so that you have a complete portfolio which shows that you are a 21st century employee in waiting. Okay, so they are saying that remote work and digitization will become the new norm after COVID-19. You can't run away from it. This will become the new norm. So get into a new mindset and you should be all right. Okay. As you need to build essential habits for lifelong success. These are things that are ongoing, that should be ongoing. Okay, am I still there? Am I broken?
Yes, we can hear you.
But
yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay. So re-energize, building essential habits for lifelong success. You have to prepare yourself for employment. Forget the fact that we are in COVID era and nobody is hiring. Okay, forget that. You have to prepare yourself for employment, psychologically, mentally. Okay, so you have to keep doing what you're doing. You have to check out what people in your industry are doing. And you have to upgrade yourself often, whether you have a job or not. Every opportunity, especially if you're looking for a job now and you can't afford it. Again, what I said before, go back to all the places offering these new trainings and knowledge shares and all those things, and just jump on it, keep doing it. Refresh your CV and keep it honest with omitting nothing and massaging nothing. This is crucial. Omitting something is like, for some people, they maybe, for example, they have a PhD. They are so stretched because they've looked for jobs for years and they can't find it. So when they're looking for some jobs, they say, oh, you know what, let me just remove this PhD, because the PhD is doing more harm, because people keep saying you're overqualified for the job, you're overqualified for the job, you're overqualified, so let me remove it. This is against the law. And if your employer should take you on and find out later, you are going to lose and perhaps lose your job and perhaps have bad reference. This is as bad as putting in a PhD when you don't have one. It's the same. Okay, so please do not omit anything on your CV. If you think that your PhD is not needed, look for ways to have transferable skills or for on-the-job relevant skills. These are the ones that you don't do it as a degree or whatever. These are the small courses here and there which everybody needs. Okay, so you make sure that when you write your CV, you highlight those things, because that's where the employer will say, yeah, okay, so he has a PhD. I don't care about the PhD. Look at all the other small skills that he has down here that can help me with my work. So do not do that. And please do not massage if you don't have an experience. Perhaps you are thinking about the experience wrongly. It's not only what is huge and what is fantastic that is important. Most people are looking at your integrity. They are looking to see if you have the core competencies they are talking about. And even if you have shined shoes, write there, I shined shoes, and I shined it to a way that you can see your face in the shoe because it was so brilliant. It is very, very important for you to just look at it. So it's all a matter of perspective, how you look at what you have done and putting that information in the CV. Okay. Another thing you need to do, like, so I have a little anecdote about massaging the CV. But anyway, okay, let's move on. So you need to also get comfortable, like I said, with the phone and the video, you know, preparing for interviews. You have to check out that if anybody should call you for an interview, you are ready. You have to do it like you're actually leaving your home to that place to have the proper interview. So you make sure you dress properly. You have, you know, again, in the beginning of this COVID era, when I started talking to some of my staff all over the place, and some people turned up on Zoom, they forgot that they were on camera and they came without shirts. Once I told one of the people that, oh, please, we don't want to see your sexy chest, okay? Just go and wear a shirt right now. So put it on your mind, like you're going to a proper interview, you're going to a proper, because right now I'm also in the process, I'm interviewing people for certain positions in one of our businesses. So put in your mind, do the full thing, you know, the full works, put on clean, wash your hair, you know, the whole works, everything. Make sure your computer is set in properly, you have enough light coming to you, people are not disturbing you, people are not walking back and forth behind you and all that, and just create a domestic, a very interesting, distractive atmosphere. So you have to plan all these things, and this goes into it. Plan everything, every step of the way, so that you give the best impression to the employer. Okay, so these things, you can find them online, they are all over the place, so you can find out information. Invest your time into finding them. Okay, the most important thing, continue to apply for jobs. Yes, nobody is recruiting, yes, there's no money, yes, this, but continue to apply, because newsflash, COVID will end. Businesses will get back. You have to get ready. And if you fall off the wagon, somebody will come and take the place that you might probably have had. So you have to keep applying, keep going like you're ready, okay? And when you get frustrated and you are stressed, take time out. Allow yourself to be frustrated. We have a course that we do in our place, which is called mindfulness. This is how it's a course that teaches you how to get back into yourself, deal with your stress or things that are worrying you, overcome them, learn to live with them, and get over it. Okay, I'm a very big proponent of that. if it's getting to your head, walk away. If you need to scream, you need to run, you need to jump, whatever, do it. Take that time out. But you must come back. Take time out to be frustrated, but you must always come back. So you go and do all that, you go and play your football, you go and do whatever, but you must come back to the drawing board and continue looking for jobs. That is so crucial, okay? And then you must be logically bold. Do not be afraid. Don't think, oh, this is beyond me or this is below me or that. No, just be bold. If that's what you want, go for it and persevere. That's all I can say. Perseverance is everything. Okay, so to conclude, find out what skill gaps you have and retrain. Always look for opportunities to self-develop further. Work on desirable core competencies that employers want. Prepare for and practice virtual interview techniques. Continue to apply for jobs even when it seems bleak. Take a break when it gets too much to regroup, but always return to the search. Post-COVID brings more entrepreneurial opportunities. Network and persevere. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Maritha. Thank you for this wonderful presentation. And I think, you've done an excellent job taking us through all this slide. So at this moment, because we don't have much time, I'll open up the floor. Please, I'll on your microphones. If you have any question or contribution, feel free to make or ask. And if you think you don't have any question, to continue muting yourself, so that at least we don't have feedback here. So please, unmuting all of you, then we can ask all your questions. But if you can also unmute yourself, and if you think you can also unmute yourself if you want to, you can unmute yourself as well. Yes, please unmute yourself. Yes, and if you have any question, Nani, I can see if you have any contribution, you can also make, because we are just 10 minutes to go.
Yes.
Yeah, Nani, we can hear you. Yes.
I actually have a question.
Please
so,
ask.
where it says that maybe your own business and you're also in search of a job, it's a little dicey because some people say that we have employers who don't like people who are sort of entrepreneurs. I don't know how you can feature some of those things onto your CV and how to limit that CV also to 2 pages, something like, yeah.
Okay. Maritha, yes.
I also have a question, please.
Okay, so let Maritha answer, and then Maritha, are you there? Hello, Maritha, are you there? Hello,
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. So this is quite interesting because I've actually had personal experience with this. When you have your own business, people know that when you have your own business, you need to dedicate a lot of your energy into it, because you work even more for yourself when you're working, even more when you're working for yourself than you do when you're working with an employer. So if you're looking for a job, this is also what you need to reassess. How much, if you come to me and you say you have your own business, how much of your business are you willing to let go? How much are you willing to invest in my business? So yes, it's very good that you tell the person that you're looking for your business. I might probably be drawn to you because I see that you are responsible and you are someone who pushes. That is why you have started your business. It takes a certain mindset, and that I might find attractive. But then, if you tell me that, I will always have the conversation with you that if I need you, if you had to choose between me and my business, what will you do? But I will not take your word for it, because there'll be a lot you'll be telling me that you are not telling me. Okay, so this is what I'm saying, that you have to be very honest in what you want. Do you really want to come and play around my business because you need money to support yours, or are you willing to put in the same effort that you are putting in yours in mine?
I think Maritha, what you said makes sense, and I think it's a question I always get from young people on how to position this on their CV. And there's two ways to go with this. So first, many a times, look at the job description, the JD. Okay, if what you are doing in your company has anything to do with the JD, for you to prove that, look, I've done this kind of job at my own office or something, then you can put on a CV. And as I said, don't stress so much, because it's not every employer who is also much interested in seeing you doing a side gig, because definitely they will feel like you are going to spend much time working on your business than their business. So don't stress so much on your job. Don't even make it more look like you are the main person in charge, because if you are the main person in charge, it means that over the job rests on your laps, and definitely you will have my time for it than my job, my business. So it's very tricky when it comes to that aspect. Don't stress so much stress more on the experience that you've gotten from your job, but don't stress so much on you being a CEO in your company or the owner of the business.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hello.
Christopher. Yes, Christopher, you can ask a question. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I've understand the whole presentation and it's very wonderful and I've learned a lot. But then my question is, how about when you are doing something like you are into volunteering work, you are into part-time jobs, and you need to have a CV that should not have that long pages, How would you able to accommodate all those other curricular activities that you're doing extra to the job that you're applying for? Is it necessary to take all those things areas? In fact, maybe you don't have the, I would say, the good experience. Maybe some of the job they will be asking you to have 4 or 5 years experiences, but then you have been doing some volunteer work, part-time jobs. And you need to accommodate all those into your CV. How would you do that? How would you analyze them all?
Okay, so I think Maritha will answer that. I'll come in. Yes.
Yeah. So Christopher, this is it. What a CV really is. What a CV really is. It's 80% looking at your skills and 20% at to see who you have worked with before. Okay, most of it is on your skills. So that if you are looking at a job, you are volunteering somewhere, and the skills there are more important than and more relevant to the job that you are searching for, you can list, instead of writing everything you have done at every job, just write the other places that you have worked, and perhaps a short summary of what you did there, and then spend more time highlighting the skills that you have acquired in the volunteering job, which is more relevant to the particular job you're applying for. That way you can still fit everything within the two pages.
All right.
Yeah, it's true.
Now,
yes, Christopher.
okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Christopher. 2 pages.
Emmanuel, yeah,
I mean, yes. I mean, Maritha has said it. The maximum pages you can have is 2 pages, and I always say, look out for the JD. So when the JD is requesting for a role that is not relevant on your CV, just take it out. You don't need to have it over there, because you need to have 2 pages. So make sure your CV matches the JD or the job that you are searching for. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Now, so there are times you are applying for a job that you have the qualities, but then I understand the employer, they would also look for the amount of the pay you need to get, but then your standards on your CV doesn't really match that side. How would you accommodate yourself yet you need that job? Because you have said you need to be bold enough, You don't need to feel yourself led, or you don't need to let yourself down from your presentation. In fact, there are some jobs that are so very attractive. I have these qualities, but then most of these qualities I've obtained them through my volunteering jobs. Yet you need to apply for those posts. They would ask you, this job, but maybe I'm in Malawi. I'm a Malawian. You would see some of the job that has more of managerial skills, that demands more conceptual skills. They go more than 500 questions. So you look at your CV, then most of from your CV, I would say, volunteering works that you have just been doing part-time, but then that job demands your more skills that will let you to accommodate yourself. How would you make yourself at least to be that bold enough to apply and happen to get the chances for an interview? How would you start yourself in such kind of areas?
That's a very interesting question, Christopher. When job descriptions are written, they are written for a reason. If they write that they're looking for someone who has managerial skills, that someone who has worked with, perhaps has managed about 50 people plus or 100 people plus, there is a reason why. In our minds, we know what we are capable of. And sometimes you get so frustrated because you think, I can do that job. But then when you do, if you all have always managed maybe top 10 people, and they're looking for a job with experience of managing 100 people, you'll be surprised at how that changes. Okay, that should not stop you from applying for the job. Apply for the job, but one thing I keep saying is be truthful. If I'll have a slight digression. If they ask you, even you know that it's a mid-level or top-level management position, and they ask you for the pay for your last salary, and perhaps you have been earning maybe $10. Okay, since you're in Malawi, I'm going to use a general currency. You are earning $10. And the job, you know that the pay will start at maybe $1,000. Do not lie. They ask you, how much were you earning on your previous job, and you say $980 because you feel that would give the indication that you are able to manage that number of people. That's a lie. That can be found out. So it's the same thing. Yes, be bold. Apply for the job. Tell them all the reasons why you can do the job, but you must be very, very clear. Or you can just say that you have been in a management position, and then when they ask you directly, how many people have you managed? That's when you have to tell them the truth. I manage 10 people. But if they don't ask you for it, be bold and ask for that position, and you should be fine.
All right. Thank you so much, Martha.
Leslie, do you have anything to add?
I think you've said everything. That was about it. You've said everything. You've covered everything. So is there any other question on the page?
Yeah, good evening.
Anyone? Yes. So please on your microphone and speak. Yes.
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, Nani, you've on your microphone. Do you want to speak?
Yeah,
Jalili.
I just wanted to ask if I could connect with her personally, because I have quite a personal question.
Sure.
I need some help in an area. So
definitely,
yeah.
anytime.
Sure.
Where are you? Are you in Ghana or?
Yes, I'm in Ghana.
Okay, so I'll give you my WhatsApp, and then you can contact me.
Okay.
Directly. There's no problem with
All
that.
right.
So my number is.
Okay, that'll be awesome. I'm grateful.
Yeah, I'll give it. So if anybody needs to contact me, it's also fine. It's 054. So for you international time.
So you can write it on the chat. You can write on the chat so that everyone can see as well. Yes, write on the chat.
Okay, so I'll just say quickly 0547 951 559. So that's plus 233 5479 51559. I'm saying this because it's being recorded. That's why I'm saying it out there, but I'll put it on the chat as well.
Okay. Is there any other question on the page? Yes. Yeah, Christopher.
I think Jalil had a question.
Okay.
Oh, Jalil. Okay. Yes. So please ask a question. Yes.
Okay. During the presentation, you talked about we not trying to be a jack of all trades, but I realized that during most job descriptions, they require that you be a multi.
The voice, please. The voice.
It's very, very faint.
Hello. Okay. I've realized that during some job descriptions, they require that you be a multi-talented person. So how can one be able to, adjust himself to just one type of job and not trying to search for maybe different jobs that, best suit his or her interests? Maybe some people are there we have multiple interests. So how can you be able to align it to just one particular type of job, as you said, and not searching for any type of job you come across, then you apply for it?
Okay, thank you, Jalil. That's a very good question. When there is a job description, like you're saying, some people are multi-talented, okay? But when there is a job description, you have to highlight your experiences, your particular experiences that pertain to that particular job description. That's why they always say that if you are applying for a job, you must tailor your CV to suit the requirements of that job, okay? So the CV that you will use to apply for job A will not be the same CV you use to apply to job B. So this is how you can put yourself in the positions by highlighting the specific requirements for that particular job.
Oh, all right. I like that one.
Are you okay with it?
Yeah, in a
Yeah,
way. But I don't understand where
I'm
you said
okay
we
with it.
shouldn't be a jack of all trades. That's the part I actually don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
So
So the not being a jack of all trades, what I mean when I say don't be a jack of all trades is everybody can do a bit of everything. If you say you are going to pursue that, you will not be useful to any employer. They need to know that this is what Jalil is good at. This is what Jalil is confident he's good at. This is what Jalil has even if he didn't do this particular thing in school, he has had other training, whether they are through books or hands-on, but he has had other training to make him the best at this particular skill, so that they know that if I'm looking for this skill, Jalil is my guy. So this is what I mean by do not be a jack of all trades. You have to be good at something and excel in it for people to know that they can depend on you where that particular skill is needed.
Thank you.
Perfect. Okay.
I think you've said everything, yes. Any other question on the page? Nani, do you want to, any other question?
Emmanuel,
Okay,
Emmanuel. Hello,
yes.
Emmanuel. Are you sharing this?
Here.
Are you sharing this
Yes.
video?
Yes, I'll share this video. I'll share this video.
I will appreciate that.
Right.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So guys, it's 6:06, and I think we will end it here. As you all know, if you want to ask any additional questions, you can still use our WhatsApp page. We have a WhatsApp group. We have a Telegram group as well. We also active on LinkedIn, so you can ask all your questions. And as you know, we always have this. We have a midweek session and we have a Saturday session. So the midweek session is more for job seekers, and a Saturday session is for entrepreneurs who want to start their business and those who are also running their businesses. So at this moment, we'll say a very big thank you to Maritha. Maritha, thank you so much for the presentation, and I mean, we look forward to connecting again. Do you have any final word to say, Maritha? Are you there?
Yes, I'm right here, and I want to thank you all for giving me the opportunity to share my little knowledge with you, and also you've got me thinking about a few things that you have talked about. So we will constantly be trying to get better at this. Like I gave you my number, I am free. You can send me a message, WhatsApp especially, because I'm always moving all around the world and there's no telling where I'll be. So I prefer WhatsApp. So WhatsApp, send me messages or whatever you need. If you need to get in touch with me, Leslie knows where to get me. And just continue going and you will find jobs. There is a job out there for you. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And so we say bye-bye and good night.
Good night. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, bye.